I'm Ariana Grande.
Hi, I'm Cynthia Erivo.
And you're listening to the Broadway Podcast Network.
Visit vpn.fm to discover more.
There's a cat over here. There's a cat over there. And the wrong one died. And the wrong one died.
Welcome to The Wrong Cat Died, the podcast breakdown of the catastrophe. I'm your host, Mike Abrams, and today I was going to say we have a surprise guest, but there's a graphic and a link, and you saw a name and you clicked on everything. So not much of a surprise, but I'm very excited. We have been working with the Perlman Performing Arts Center reimagined production of Cats called Cats the Jellicle Ball to bring you a series of episodes during their run. I'm excited today to have Jacob Brent here with me to discuss the show. As you all know, Jacob was the magical Mr. Mistoffelees on the original Broadway run, and then in the 1998 movie. He was also episode 99, if you want to go back to The Wrong Cat Died and hear about his experience in the show and movie and everything about cats. We talked for a very long time and got very deep on a lot of theories. But today, we're here to talk about the new ballroom production at the PAC because so many of you commented to me and to Jacob and asked about this. So we thought we would bring this conversation and record it and let you all hear it. So welcome, Jacob, and thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
I've loved when you went, and a lot of times, like I saw Ken Page went recently.
Yeah.
As more people have gone and got to talk to the cast, it's been fun to see the interactions. But also with you in particular, I remember I got a couple tags. I know you got a couple tags being like, we got to hear what you thought. So I'm just going to start right from the beginning.
Oh, okay.
What did you think about when you heard about it? Like, what was your first, what was your first reaction when you heard about the concept that this was coming in a ballroom setting?
Oh, sure. That's great. Yeah. I mean, I was interested. I was excited. I kind of was like, we'll see. Like, I don't know. Like, that's why not? Like, but it seems kind of crazy, and it felt a little bit like almost like an SNL sketch to me a little bit. Like, if I'm going to be honest, like it felt like, oh, okay, this is going to be like, we're going to spoof cats. I get it. And, I didn't think, and actually this goes into when I saw it, like, I didn't think it was going to be what it was. So I was pleasantly surprised when I got there. But yeah, I just kind of was like, what is this? And people kept asking me, and they were like, I was like, I don't know. I have nothing to do with this production. Like, I have no idea, y'all. But it was interesting. And then the like logo came out, and I was like, wait a minute, they're like using the Cats logo. Like, this had to be approved somewhere, you don't just get to use that logo for nothing. So I was like, somebody has eyes on this, and they do. So it just kind of like unveiled or revealed itself to me, like little by little. Like, I just was like, what is this? And then of course that like viral video came out with them dancing. And I was like, once I kind of saw that, I was like, okay, I get it. I'm on board. I see what we're going to do. But I still didn't know. I still thought like, are they doing the whole show? Are they cutting down? Cause like when you're reading some of the characters, like some people play 2 or 3 characters in the show. I hope I don't give anything away. And
yeah, it's now in the 3rd extension. So we're getting to the point where I think hopefully we're not spoiling too much.
Yeah, it won't spoil everything, but some people play different roles, and some of the roles have been cut, and I was like, that's interesting. And I really thought they were going to cut it down and it'd be like a 90 minutes or even shorter or something like, I thought it was going to be just different than what it was. Right. Or like I said, like kind of sketchy and like, oh, it's because it's very easy to make fun of the show. Like, I love the show. I understand, but it is very, very easy to make fun of the show. So I thought, oh, maybe that's what they're doing. When I went and we got there and sat down, and the overture started playing, and they did the opening, and I thought, okay. And then they did the white cut solo, and I was like, oh, okay. Like, and then we did the whole opening, and then it kind of was like, oh, wait, they're doing Cats. Like, they're doing the show. Like,
yeah,
all of it. all of it.
All of it.
With
Completely.
that intermission, I was with some friends, some other friends that had done the show and other companies were there. And we were talking at intermission and I was like, I mean, if they do Gus, if they do the optic, I'm out, like not out, but like, I can't believe they're doing everything. And Act 2 started and we did the whole Gus section. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then, I just was pleasantly surprised that they did Cats. They did not do an SNL sketch of Cats.
It's a good point because I think when did you first learn about it? Because I learned first about it when they announced the casting for the reading like 2.5 years ago. And it went kind of mini viral, or at least viral in the Cats world, because it read like the SNL skit. Like it was like, we need a drag this, or we need this. Like it just didn't, it was without the context or knowing what they were doing with it. There was so much ambiguity that it was like, ooh, what is this? Like, it seems super interesting. It seems kind of a little off. It seems a little weird, but it also seems like it could be really cool. And then it kind of went dark for a while for me until it became like, oh, now this is actually going to go on stage. So did you learn about it then, or was it more about when they started announcing, hey, it's going to be a show?
I had heard about the readings and rumblings of that. And I was just like, I wonder what that would be. And maybe it'd be some kind of thing like, I honestly didn't know. And I was excited. I'm always excited because I think, like the production has been done. We've done Cats the way the original creators envisioned it. It had a very long run. We made a lovely video movie DVD of it. There was another movie of it, which whatever.
We're going to move on.
We'll move on from that. But it's been well documented, right? The show is well documented of the way that originally concept was. I'm very honored to be part of that. So I always a cheerleader for like moving the art form forward, right? For moving storytelling forward. And if this is the way that it can be done, then I'm all in. It just was like, what? And then, I was also hearing, we're not wearing tails. We're not really cats. And I got like ballroom culture. I got like the cattiness. Oh, we're going to be catty. I like the play on that. I was like, oh, I get that. But I kind of was like, wait, we're not. How are they going to do this without being cats? Like it's so cats. It's so like, it's weird to me. Like it was just bizarre, but it just worked. It just worked. I mean, you've seen it, right? So, we did the whole thing, got some drinks.
So where were you sitting
beforehand?
Where were you sitting at this?
So we sat like right, for the people that haven't seen it, I don't know how to, we sat like right in the center of the, runway. So right behind where, Old Deuteronomy sits.
So you were that's where I tell everyone that's in my opinion, the best seat for a first time seeing it.
I think it's the best.
Everything's coming at you.
Yeah.
Because my first time I was at the table. So the cabaret seats at the end of the runway, which was quite the experience.
Oh,
but also it's overwhelming with a lot of stuff happening around you at all times.
Yeah. And I was far enough back to like take it in, like to be able to take it all in. It was fun. We had guest judges that night. Michelle Visage was there, which was very exciting, as a guest judge. And, it was just really, it was an experience that I have not experienced before in a theater. I will say that.
Yeah.
In terms of just the experience of the show, like I had never been in an audience that participated that much in the show and was encouraged to participate that much in the show. In like these gorgeous seats. First of all, the theater's gorgeous. Like, yeah,
it's so new. It's so nice.
Like every Broadway house, like please take note, like redo your theaters, please. And so that was really interesting. And the fact that we were so far downtown, yet all these people were there and like, it just felt electric. I know that's a word that's been going around with some of the reviews, but it really was. I was like, wow, this is really what theater can be. Like this coming together, this group of people coming together and experiencing this night that only is for us in this room And that was just really exciting for me, and what theater can be. And the parallel I was drawing was like, wow, this is like when Cats opened in New York in 1982, like 82, I believe, or 83. I forget. Somebody will check me. But the same thing happened. I mean, I don't know if it was as electric, but it really, I don't think people were screaming in their seats, but just that feeling of like, this is different. Theater is moving forward, and I think it's happened the same way with the same show as when I saw it. I felt I had that feeling of like, oh wow, okay, this is a real like a mile marker in musical theater history again with this show. Now, whether it will run for 25, 30 years, it's, I don't know. That's the producers, that's their job. But it does feel like, oh, this is a shift. This is a shift in the way things are cast, the way things are rehearsed, and just the whole community around the show felt different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the energy is infectious. And I think it's been interesting I've now been twice, and I've got tickets to go back a third time. And both times I went, the first time was a preview and like it was still really early. But even the second time, this was like, people knew at this point, it was pretty much sold out through the end of the first or the second extension. And everyone in the crowd, like I had a child sitting on one side. I had a couple of older women sitting next to me. I had, some people who were clearly there from the ballroom scene that were ready to go, that were like part of some of the houses over there. They were friends with the cast, and not every single person in the crowd looked like they were having the time of their life. And I think that is really a cool part about this show is it doesn't really matter who you are. You're going to feel the energy of the cast, of the creative, of how they built it, and also the room. And as someone who also doesn't love participating, like I don't like participating in shows. I don't like to be in shows. I hate those ones where they like Sleep No More was my nightmare for a long time of like someone's going to grab me and pull me in a room.
Absolutely.
And you don't have that happen though here, but you still get that energy and the excitement from it because the interactions are like minor. Like a lot of the cast, I sat the second row at the end of, or the beginning of the catwalk the second time. And the snarky comments that came from the Mungo Jerry Rumple teasers and like this throughout are hilarious. And it's like a small little piece that's added to the show that I loved. But I want to ask you about for me, one of the most interesting things the first time I saw it was I kind of jokingly said, I don't know much about ballroom besides being able to see Paris is Burning, like being able to see a documentary about it. I was like, but I arguably know too much about Cats. like that was how I walked into the theater. And I kind of was joking about that, I know way too much about this and I don't know how they're going to do the Cats part. I don't know much about the ballroom, but I kind of heard a little bit about that. So I'm curious, how much did you know about the ballroom walking in? And, you're the other person that knows way too much about Cats, as someone who's directed it. And did you have, I had the reaction of, wow, this is purely Cats. Just with, in my opinion, it gave me what I wanted, which was the competitions and that someone different could win throughout the show many, many times. But I was blown away by how true it was to Cats.
Yeah, I think they got what Cats is about, really. And to answer your question, I did not know much at all. I still don't know much about the ballroom culture. I want to learn more. Of course, but I had watched Paris is Burning. I've watched some special, some documentaries about so I kind of had a little bit of an idea. Like I wasn't completely like, what is this? Like I know about the houses and we compete and all of those things. And like you said, yes, I knew way too much about Cats, which I was like, which was kind of scared me because I was kind of like, I'm not sure. And hearing that everybody was like going like gaga over this production and being like, oh, finally I can understand Cats, like it's the way it's supposed to be, and but we can kind of talk about that later. But I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, I kind of went in with arms crossed. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of was like, let's see, like prove to me what this is. And something happens at the very beginning, which the little the video of there's a cat dancing in the cat eyes. And I don't know if you caught on to this, but those are glimmers of the original White Cat solo from the original production. And I saw that and I was like, okay. And then they come out and they do the homage to the original recording, the album. And I thought, okay, we got it. We're going to be safe. They understand what they're doing. And they also are paying homage to like what the original was. And they're saying, I felt like the director was saying, I understand this is beloved. This is a classic, like musical and the like canon. And, we're just going to do something different, but we know where we're coming from and we want to pay homage to that. So to me, and then after the opening number, I was like, okay, I got it. I'm on board. It's fine. I understand what this is. So, and that way I just loved it. I just was able to be like, it's not, I just loved it. I loved it. And I was able to meet and Bill during intermission. I rarely go, it's the one time that I can be in a room and be like, hey, I'm Mr. Mistoffelees. And people are like, what?
Yeah.
But, I kind of said, hey, I told him who it was. He was so sweet. And he was like, you must come back and meet at the end. So they were all waiting. It was very sweet, very nice that I was there. And, they were very excited and wanted to hear what I thought about it, which I thought was great. So that part of the experience was really lovely in itself too, to be able to like talk to them. And they were so reverent and thanking us for what we had done. And that, they understood like we wouldn't be here without that video. And so many people are like, oh my God, like one guy was basically in tears. He was like, I watched you growing up and like, you're the reason that I am dancing and doing this. And now I'm getting to meet you and I'm doing cats. And it was like way too full circle moment. But yeah, so it's that. And then just also it's this other part of it with this being so like, part of the queerness of cats, which I never really got because it was just me of like being Mistoffelees. I just played it like me, but I guess something like me being in that role, pulling out that rainbow streamer in the number and like celebrating. It just is sort of like, there was like this kind of weird gay icon thing. I don't want to say I'm a gay icon, but I'm like, it's like this like weird, like, oh, there could be a space for this musical world. And so, that is really fascinating to me that this is now coming up because I didn't, of course, when you're making things like that, you have no idea of what it's going to do for people later on. And so, just for people to come up and say that, like when you pulled out that rainbow streamer, I just saw myself and knew that I had a place in this world. And I was like, wow, that's, oh my God, amazing. But like, had no idea I was doing that,
Yeah. It was, as I talked to some of the cast, they, somebody who was from more of the ballroom scene and not the theater world. Cause I've talked to a lot of them and it's been really fun to see like the indoctrination into cats world for the non-cats, like non-theater people. They're like really in and loving it. And they're getting that moment that like, for me, I had when I started this show, like, oh, this is super fun. And here's this part. And, but someone, when I said that, I was like, oh, you got to meet Jacob because I saw the picture and they're like the face of cats because you and Ken hugging each other is like the moment that they knew. Yeah. And so there was like that honor of like, again, you don't know that one moment is going to be something, years and years later as part of that's like the essence of the show that's been around for so long. And now this reimagined version of being able to bring it back. But I want to ask because I want to get into some of the character changes. Oh, yeah. Like the nuances. And one I want to ask is as Mistoffelees, Silk, who does things with their body I can't even fathom.
Incredible.
But they really lean into the Mistoffelees Tugger relationship.
I thought that too. Hard, very hard. I was like, oh, this is like the fans are going to love this moment. And I love that. I love that they had done their sort of research and knew that lore was out there and like, okay, Lynn, what is this then? If they, I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah. And we've been lucky to have both Silk and Sydney, who play Mistoffelees and Tugger, on the podcast and got to hear how they came up with it and how they decided to lean into it. But I want to hear from you about, there are some, like, I wouldn't say there's changes per se. I mean, I think there are a couple that are done differently, like the Macavity is like a slightly different storyline. Obviously, Grisabella goes through a same arc, but with less, I would say it's actually less dark because it's much more the ballroom version of it. You get a little bit less dark of a demeanor. You get more of a sassy demeanor. So there are some that are like pretty similar and some that really change. So what were the characters that stood out to you as, oh, I really liked this version that maybe is different than what you were used to?
That's such a good question. I loved what they did with Mistoffelees. I thought that's the way you do it in this version. That's who that cat is in this. I really loved Munga Rump. I really thought that they had the cheekiness that they are. They got that. I don't know. Yeah, like the Macavity was a little, I don't want to say odd for me, but like yeah, that was probably the one that was like, I was like, oh, okay. I see what we're doing. Yeah, that one to me was the most changed, I think, from
it's definitely the most different because they didn't, there wasn't as much villain as much as the, like, we're going to walk labels and we're going to have some tags on those labels. Like the labels part's going to be questionable, but still much more of the, like, I'm in the tribe. Like I'm part of the tribe. I'm walking the ball. I'm in the ball. I just am a little bit more sassy and in a category that's different.
Yeah, that was very different because, Macavity is not in that tribe. And that whole demeanor, Macavity kind of thing was not there. But that's okay.
Yeah, I think some of it stems from there wasn't split track. So there's no Bus Gus. There's no Macavity doing other parts and other costumes. So I think they had to kind of weave some different storylines in for, a lot of those characters. I guess there's one split track that I know of, which is Cassandra Skimbleshanks. But for the most part, Bus for Jones is Bus for Jones. There's no Bus Gus. Like those are two separate characters.
Well, it's hard. It's also, unless you've really like done the show, there's not much there in terms of story and the script. And so it's very open for interpretation. So that's the way they interpreted it. And it was totally fine. I mean, all that story is made up and not written down, unfortunately. And so when people do it, even if they're doing it in like regional productions, or now it's in schools and other community productions, like I'm not sure that they would, unless they've really studied or really talked to somebody that's done it, I'm not sure that they would know that information as well. So I was so happy with it. And I thought, regardless of the changes of the characters, I thought what they really got right was the essence of the show. That the show is about a community of people, or a community. And this one is people, and we were cats. It's about forgiveness. And it's about, coming together as a group to collectively forgive this person or this animal or Grisabella, right? And I really felt like they got that. What I really loved is the sort of bump up of the syllabub character. They made that very clear, where it's not so clear in other productions. It's kind of like they took Victoria and Syllabub and they kind of split the role. And really, it works better I have done it where we've not done Syllabub and kept it as White Cat, so that it all tracks that the White Cat is more Syllabub and is the one that is connected to Grisabella. And that really played out beautifully in this production. And that actor was fantastic. Both of them were fantastic.
They tell the Grisabella story perfectly, in my opinion.
Perfectly.
And to the point where I've kind of joked with him, I'm like, you're kind of ruining my theory here. Like my whole show has been centered around Grisabelle not being the right choice. And it's much harder to argue in this case. A lot because I think that they changed the definition, or not change. They have a different version of what you would call the Heaviside layer. Like I've always viewed the Heaviside layer as death and, being reincarnated. And there it's like they're going to go walk the ball, or they're going to have another chance to kind of go back to this world, but in a different, maybe a different ball community or a different piece. And it doesn't feel as dark as like, oh, I'm being chosen to be exiled. It's more of like I'm being chosen for redemption.
Yeah, that is very clear. And it's, it is like you said, it is not as dark, in original Cats, we really don't know what it is. I mean, even the people that have done it, like even I'm like, I don't know what the Heaviside, I don't really know what the Heaviside layer is. No one has ever been able to tell me what it really is. And I think that's part of it. Like it's whatever you want it to be. But they definitely made a choice to make it something else. And I thought it was great. I mean, the way the stage memory, I want a stage memory that way from now on, even just put them in a cat suit or whatever. That was the other thing. I was just watching it. I was like, I want to do a production set this way. Like not necessarily, in the ballroom culture, like, cause that's been done and we're not going to steal that idea. But like, if we were to do Cats, like real Cats, but in that space with that, like, intimacy with the audience and togetherness, and like I would just love to play in that playground like that.
Yeah, I've heard over the years of doing this show, regional productions that have changed the location of the junkyard being an amusement park or a old mall, abandoned mall, or an arcade. And so it wasn't like when I saw ballroom, I'm like, that fits, like that tracks. And then especially the community piece, which you mentioned, is so, that part is so perfectly aligned. I think the other thing that it did, and I've joked that every Cats hater I've ever met has loved this version. And I think it eliminated the easy punchlines, which is the easy punchlines were always the cat suits. Like they're dressed up as cats. I don't know their names. I don't know what I'm looking at. And you got rid of that. It was pretty easy to figure out who was who. They're dressed in, going out. They're going out to their night out. So you took that away. And then I think by having the competition being the focal point, you tell the story in the way that I actually envisioned it the first time. I've always joked from day one, seeing Leona Lewis, I thought it was the X Factor. And so this is a version of that where each cat is competing in their own little space and walking their category. And so I think it's told the story in a clearer way for someone who doesn't have any idea of what Cats is, or has just saw it and don't remember it. And it took the easiest punchline away. And I think that you add that, plus it's beautifully done. The performers are great. The energy is infectious. And you just get this like kind of perfect spiral of everybody walking out with a good time.
Absolutely. 100%. Absolutely. I felt the same way. I think they leaned into the competition part of it, which is, it's kind of confusing because the original concept is not really a competition, right? It's not, we're not there to, or we went there to, vie for who was going to win. It was more of a celebration and we were there to perform for each other, but it totally comes off as who's the better cat, right? So yeah, 100% agree. And that they leaned into that, like, and it just, I think takes away that, it just made it more clear for the audience. It's, we're asking a lot when people are dressed up as felines and they have unitards on and arm warmers and leg warmers and makeup and what is this thing? And, I always, children get it always. It's the adults that are like, wait, what? I'm missing something. And you're like, no, you're not really. You're just supposed to just enjoy it and look at it as and kids are able to do that. They're just able to look at it and they get the story right away. I think adults try to make too much of it sometimes because of we've gotten older, our imaginations are gone. that kind of stuff. So it's
Yeah.
playing into all that. So they really kind of fixed that, which I loved. And there were some moments that I thought were so brilliant. That viral video of them dancing, coming down that runway in the show, it was electrifying. I mean, the audience erupted. It was so exciting. So exciting. And some of the things they did with some of the characters, like Skimble, I love what they did with Skimble. Bustifer, thought that was great. Just all of it was so fun. I really did. I don't know. I'm just talking, but what was your original question? I'm sorry.
I love it. I'm like thinking through going back to like just having seen it recently and all those moments that I had, and I hope everyone gets a chance if they can to go see it now that there are, there's 3 more weeks of an extension.
Yeah.
So there's an opportunity to go if you can get to New York. We're going to take a quick break and then we'll be back for more of The Wrong Cat Died. But let's go. I want to do some rapid fire because I love asking these questions, and I've asked them to you before, but I'm going to now. They're going to be Pack Ballroom specific.
Okay.
So,
excellent. So let's do it.
This will be fun. So, if you wanted to be in this production, which character would you want to play in this production?
Skimble.
Skimble. I love it.
I thought
MTA.
That was just genius. Freaking genius what they did with that.
Yeah, Emma's one of the funniest people I think I've ever met in my life. And when she came out in the MTA costume, I lost it. I wasn't ready for it. And it's so fun. And it's like, I love that they added some Spanish to it and that they really like leaned into that whole like, and then they're in the subway car and kind of dancing in the, I mean, just
genius.
Perfectly well done. I love it.
Genius. Okay. Next, I'm sorry, we're not really rapid fire now. I'm sorry.
These are never rapid fire. I always say that. And then it's like, let's do it. Okay. So who in this production, character, personality wise, who would be probably your best friend and who would be the one that annoys you?
Oh, Demeter's probably be my best friend. Annoys me? Oh, I don't know. I don't know what to say on that.
Who's the one that's like, it's just not the personality that you gravitate towards?
Can I say McCavity? I'll say McCavity.
Yeah. Okay. What was the music's pretty similar, but what was your favorite song in this production?
I did love The Ball. I know I've said that before, but probably my favorite music, The Ball, but like that was really good. My favorite song, I really liked Bunker Rump. I think it was wonderful, exciting.
Did you catch Victoria and Tumble Brutus do the cartwheel?
Yes.
In the back? I love that they added that in there.
Yes. I loved that. Yeah. I don't know. Memory. I felt like I saw Memory fresh. I've heard that song 780,000 times. Yeah. And I just felt like it was so fresh and performed so well. And I was like, to me, that was just like a mark of beautiful storytelling, right? Like, if someone like that knows it so well, I've seen it a billion times and I'm like on the edge of my seat waiting, like, what is she going to do? Like, knowing that the big note's coming, knowing what's going to happen, as soon as she came in with that code, I was like, I know exactly what's going to happen here. Yeah. And still I was in tears, crying, cheering, standing up. So
I love it.
That was really cool.
Was there I'm adding a rapid fire question. Was there a dance move in particular that stood out to you? That's something that's not, maybe it's a ballroom thing or that jumped out as like, this is not normally in Cats. And I love that they added this step or this move or this.
There were a lot of death drops. Which I think I think we call them death drops. I'm not sure that's the like actual ballroom technical term. So, someone will help me on that, but yeah, that was fun. That was fun to see that in there. Yeah. I really liked all the different kind of like competitions. Like I really picked up on that and like, oh, this is that, and the houses and, Jenny Any Dots, I thought was very clear of like who that is. That was funny. I don't know. All of it. All of it's great. All of it is great.
So that's the next question. What's the house you want to be in?
Oh gosh, I don't remember what. I mean, I love Jenny.
Let me tell you the ones that I know. I know the ones. Right? There's a House of Dots. Is Jenny any dots? It actually is in the program. It's in the playbill. I did not know that at first, but they have marked some of them. So there's the House of McCavity, the House of Dots, and the House of Glamour. Those are the three that are very clearly written out. And then there's the unofficial house, which is Mungo, Jerry, and Ripple Teasers, the House of Larceny.
Got it. I'd probably be a House of Dots.
House of Dots. Okay.
Yeah, probably.
Nice.
Knowing my personality, I would be that.
If you were going to start a house, what would you call your house?
The House of Jazz, I guess.
House of Jazz. Okay.
House
I love
of Jazz.
it.
Why not? I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. So then the important question that I think we know your answer from originally, but in this production, who is your Jellicle choice and why?
I still think it's Grisabella. I'm sorry. Yeah. I know. I still think it's that. I love what they did with Gus in this, and I felt like they got that relationship right. And they just set up it so beautifully that it is Grisabella, that it feels like that's what it should be.
Yeah. I kind of joked with the directors, Bill and Jalen, when I after I saw it, I was like, you ruined the biggest argument against her, which is Gus, but Junior LaVegia is just he's not ready. Like you could see he's living the best life out there. Like you could tell he is still owning that runway, still running the show. And so I was like, I can't argue that it should be Junior because Junior doesn't want to go. So I kind of joked with them that
aside and is like, you go, it's your turn. Like, yeah. So, but
I'm not gonna fight people on this point because it's such a beautiful arc of it, and it does tell it really well.
Yeah. And how about Andre DeShields? Let me just say that name before we just end. But like, just legendary.
An unbelievable talent and perfect for the role, and knows how to own the stage. I think the first time when it looks like the 10 Commandments, but with the Jellicle Moon on it, and the amount of energy he just sits there and owns, turning those around. I was like in awe the first time I saw it.
Yeah. I love that. I was like, yes, that is old Deuteronomy. That is right.
So there's a fun Easter egg that I saw the second time because just where I happened to be sitting. But if you pay close enough attention, or if you happen to have a seat that, especially on the sides of the catwalk, when Gus tells his story, they pass around 2 playbills that they're all like kind of looking at, all the kittens kind of listening. And I think it's supposed to say who, like these are his old numbers and old things he used to do. And one is obviously Cats. The second is one of the original Wiz playbills for Andre as a little small Easter egg. And I noticed at this time, because I saw the Cats one the first time, and this time I'm like, is that a Wiz playbill? I was like, oh, that's such a cool.
That's awesome.
Homage to him as the Wiz.
Oh my gosh. I love that we're doing Easter eggs in Broadway shows now. That's exciting.
Yeah. I've been told there's a lot more, and I like trying to catch them, but it's just like the cat, the first time I saw Cats on Broadway, I was like, there's so much happening that you can't catch everything because there's always things going on.
Oh, right.
And depending on where you're sitting, you're going to get different things from each character and different remarks from different one. And, like Mungo and Rump take some stuff from different seats where they're stealing, but they're stealing from one side and then from the other side. So if you go, I think where you sat is where I tell everyone to go. Actually, Broadway Ben, who's on TikTok, does a really good analysis of all the different seats, of like every single potential seat you could buy and what your view would be like and the pros and cons. And it's a very well done, because there's a different experience kind of where you are, but you're still going to have a blast no matter where you are because the energy's just throughout the whole room.
Yeah. I mean, I would really, at this point, I would just say get in the room, like just get a seat, like
anywhere you can,
wherever you can. Yeah. But it was very exciting. And the cool thing, just for me afterwards, is like, yeah, I got to talk to the performers and talk to them, not only about, of course the show, like, oh my God, you're so great. I love the concept, but they were able to talk to me about how hard the show was. Because that was really hard. I was like, isn't this show really hard? They were like, oh my gosh, this show is so hard. I was like, it's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. And they were like, the show is so high. It's written so high. Like everyone's singing in the stratosphere. And they're like, we had no idea what we signed up for. They were like, one of them was like, I've never sang this much in my life. Or like, it was like, so it was fun for them because they actually got to then, I think, talk to somebody that had been in the trenches a little bit. Like, besides the like, oh my God, you were fabulous. And I love the ballroom. And like, yeah, thank you so much. And but we were able to be like, oh, that was great. Okay. Now like this show, like, girl, you got to breathe here because you don't get a chance to breathe until this point. And like, we just were able to that was really fun and to connect on that level. So it was just a blast. They were so kind. Everybody was so kind. And I hope that it goes on and does, great things. And I hope to go again. So if you're going again and you have an extra ticket, just let me know. I'll be there with you. And, we'll find those Easter eggs.
We'll chat after we hang up about that. But yes, if you can get back to New York, if you're in New York, if you get a chance, the thing is I went to the second preview and I left telling everybody, I think you should buy your tickets now. I think this is going to do really well. And I'm like, I as a Cats person, I was like, I know the Cats part, but like, it's just not a single person in that crowd had a bad time. And that's not the case in every show I see. And everyone walking out, you could hear it because like we walked to the subway together and you could hear everyone was blown away. And so I had a few friends buy tickets right away. I was just like, just buy anything you can. And the Pack does an amazing job. They have a lot of discounted tickets. They have under 30 veterans, teachers, military, like a lot of different things to try to make it affordable. But they're hard to get tickets. So I'm glad they have an extension because like you need to buy them now if you want to go.
Did anything change from the preview than you saw it before or the last time?
Not material. I think some of the stuff I noticed I think they redid a few of the Mistoffelees magic tricks because not all of them worked the first day,
really?
And then I was also sitting at the cabaret seat, so I was like on the stage, and there was definitely some stuff of like some earrings went flying and some wigs were like maybe not fully on the way they expected for the movement they were going to have to do. So it's like a lot more of the little stuff that I noticed than anything. I did see a different syllabub the second time, so it was really cool. I think this might have been the first time this person went on for it, which was because like based on the bows and everything, it felt like everyone was like really, really amped for them. So that was really cool to see. But yeah, not anything crazy. Like I didn't notice major things. I did find out that I was at the show that the first time they really went for the Tugger Mistoffelees moment was that production, like that second preview, and they didn't tell anybody. And that's why the reaction from the crowd, like from the cast, was so big, is because they didn't know that was coming.
Oh, that's so
but yeah, I know that they were having just at Broadway Con had on the choreographers. They were tweaking little things, but it wasn't major stuff. Just a couple, we maybe need to move this person to this part of the stage. And to do that, you've got to have this step slightly different. But I think what I saw the first time versus the second was very similar, but I saw totally different angles. And I do think that created a different experience in a theater as intimate and really small as that, is I saw everyone walking away from me more than the first time. They were all walking right towards me. And I could see other parts of the theater I couldn't see the first time. Like I had less of a view of what's happening behind, but I could also see kind of behind, like off stage a little bit. So I could see them kind of gearing some stuff up and seeing them like getting their drinks and kind of like decompressing as performers. So you just get totally different views, which I love if you get a chance to see a show more than once. It's fun to get the different experiences of it.
Absolutely. Live theater. There's nothing better. There's really nothing better.
Amen. Well, this is great. I'm glad we could document your experience and everyone could hear. And I'm glad you enjoyed it as much as everyone has. So how can people stay in touch with you on social media and everything you're doing?
Oh, you're sweet. Jacob Brent Instagram is my Insta, and that's where I am. I can kind of do one thing. So Instagram's sort of it. So please follow or, reach out. I'm happy to always say hi.
Awesome. Any parting words and before we wrap up?
Oh my gosh. I'm so thrilled for the show. It's lovely that it has this new life. I don't think it will, I think this will be great, but I think there's room for all of it. There's room for our production. There's room for this production. It's all good. It's all just a testament to how the show itself. And I love that they got it right. I'm so excited for this cast. I'm so excited for the directors and choreographers and all the creatives that have worked on this. And I just wish it the best. I really do. And hopefully it will move to maybe a bigger venue and uptown and be nominated for things. And, hopefully I'll get invited to that. So we'll see.
Amen. I hope, I love that too, because I've been trying to find the right wordings for it a lot where I'm talking about the two different productions, and I don't want to be like this one versus that one or the old versus the new. It's like there's space for both of them, like you just said. And I love that they're different, but they're similar. And they're, the way you said it was bringing the art forward and bringing art, like, reimagining it into a new way, but also still being the art form and still kind of playing true to what it was. And it's done that so well. And kudos to everyone involved. And I'm glad to hear all the reactions and see it. And I'm with you. I hope it has another Jellicle life beyond this third extension.
Oh, that's good. I love that. Yes. Now and forever.
Now and forever. Amazing. Well, this has been so fun. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. I'm happy to come on anytime.
Awesome. Well, thank you. And thanks everyone else for listening to this episode of The Wrong Cat Died, the podcast breakdown the catastrophe. To follow along, you can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any other podcast. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Threads at The Wrong Cat Died, or check our website, thewrongcatdied.com.